What's going on, guys? Phil here from Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube, and I'm actually in Big Bear Lake, California with Federal Tire for the launch of their new Xplora RT. So if you guys don't know, the Xplora line is kind of phasing out the old Coraggio line, however you want to say it. A lot of people had that mud tire. It was really cheap as far as like price point goes and did pretty well off-road. Now they're kind of replacing that and going with this new Xplora lineup. And right now the mud tire is out, the MT. They've got the MTS, which is a hybrid like show/street tire and then mud tire appearance, kind of weird tire. And then this is the RT, which is the next one that's been released. There's a couple more to come. There's 8 in total, but this one we really wanted to focus on because I think this is going to have a good place in the market, and I think you guys are going to really like it. So like I said, Federal Xplora RT, the one we're looking at here is a 35 tall by 12.5 wide for a 20-inch wheel. So being an RT, it is that hybrid tire that everybody tends to love. So it's the best of both worlds. You get a little bit of mud terrain, a little bit of all-terrain blended together to make this. So they actually did a really nice job designing this tire, and then all through the presentation earlier they were telling me how it's going to be really quiet, and like most people, obviously they talk up their own product really well. We actually got a chance to take these out on the street, drive them for about 2 hours, and it was actually true. They did a really nice job with this center tread block design to make this a quieter riding tire on the street, because a lot of times what you see is when you get all this spacing in here that they had to add for stone ejection and water paths and whatnot, that it gets a little bit louder, but they actually did a really good job of still having a 4-block tread design and keeping it relatively quiet, and then still having it aggressive enough that it works well off-road too. So just looking at some of the stuff they did with the tire, and the outside blocks, they've got a variable pitch. Again, that's pretty much done to reduce the noise. And then they also have incremental step blocks on the edges of these, so that as you're going over water and whatnot, basically you're displacing that. It has a place for it to go, so it's going to channel that water into the evacuation paths and shoot it out of the tire, so you're not hydroplaning and stuff like that. As far as off-road goes, the center sections are very angular, very sharp looking lines on there, which is nice. It gives you a nice bite off-road, had plenty of traction, had no complaints there. There's stone ejectors as well in between these outer tread blocks. And then jumping onto the sidewall of the tire, it's also very aggressive looking, and we see a couple different tire manufacturers making these hybrid tires where the sidewalls just don't look as mean as the rest of the tire, and a lot of people are shopping for that look. So seeing this aggressive sidewall is really nice from Federal. One thing too that's unique about Federal is that I was talking to their CEO and their chairman. He actually says that a lot of times they're designing tires from childhood memories. So this center section here you're going to see is like an Atari asteroid pattern, and the outside pieces, he was talking about the movie Human Centipede, these kind of look like centipede-like. So there's a lot of styling that goes into this from an appearance standpoint, an aesthetic standpoint, that also then matches with the performance. So as far as sizes go on here, the initial launch, they've got everything from 15 up to 20. Obviously the most popular sizes that you guys are going to want to know is going to be the 33 12.5 20, and then the 35 12.5 20. A lot of the other ones, the smaller 15s, 17s and whatnot, aren't going to be super popular for us, but they are out there if you want them. I told them they need to make a 22-inch version too, so I'm sure that'll be coming soon. And then as far as price point goes, they haven't released official pricing yet, but it's going to look like for that 35 12.5 should come in right under $1,000 for you guys, or a little bit less even than that. So definitely a very competitive price point tire when you get into that. As far as mileage goes, like most hybrid tires, they don't actually offer a mileage warranty or a mileage rating because it really depends how you use them. Today, when we're doing 80 miles an hour on the gravel, it's going to wear tires a lot differently than if you're doing 55 miles an hour on your state highways. So it really depends on what you use them for, but I would say in general, most people, average guy out there, should expect to see at least 45,000 out of these just based on everything else that we've seen. They actually use the same rubber compound in the hybrid tire that they do in the mud tire as well, which is kind of a secret. Not sure if I'm supposed to tell you, but I did. If you guys are interested in these, we'll throw them up on the website. By the time the video comes out, I'm sure they're available for you. We are out here at the launch, so this is the first time that anybody's been able to do any media press coverage on it. So if you guys want to check them out, you can find them at customoffsets.com. Peace.